Josh, you're a lot less scary in person.
I try to keep this to stay scary.
Well, I mean, for a guy who's a Frightmare compound and has been running that for as long as you have, you aren't as scary as I thought you were going to be in person.
Hey, sometimes I gotta look good on camera with you guys. I got to look up with.
I pictured it's definitely got to be like Rob Zombie kind of looking person that would run that.
Oh,
but
right.
You're like, whoa, no, he's actually a normal human being,
dude.
With like a real smile and stuff.
Going to these conventions always, man. These guys. When I first started out, they were all like Rob Zombie guys. You'd go, it's all black hair, white contacts, and I was like this little surfer boy that would show up, just totally out of the elements there.
Wait, so what's the convention?
So Trans World. It's one of the biggest Halloween conventions there is, and it's been in Chicago, now it's in St. Louis. But these guys from Hollywood, all the biggest mask makers, prop makers, all these guys fly to one spot and we go buy everything. Talk about kid in a candy store.
Wait, what do you mean buy everything? They just put everything out, all the props that they've made?
Exactly.
Or like, so these mask people that are making the masks are putting out their work?
All their content, yeah. So basically, you have guys that everything from shoot videos for haunted house videos, scary videos, all the way down to the masks, all the way down to all the props. You can go spend $100,000 on one prop there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild. So it's kid in a candy store. You guys need to come with me.
What time of year does this happen at?
This is in March every year. So March
we can make that happen.
You got to. Yeah. You wake up 9 a.m, you go get a Coors Light, you start walking the showroom floor, start buying flamethrowers. I mean, it's the wildest place you've ever been.
I think we should definitely do that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
All right, you guys are invited.
All right, so you've been running the Frightmare compound. You're the oldest haunted house in Colorado history. How did you even get into that space?
Yeah, so I've actually never known an October without a haunted house because my dad actually started it 2 years before I was born. So back in 1983, my dad had this wild idea to actually start walking people through his backyard and scaring people. So it was the first one of its kind. And,
that's awesome.
Even when my dad went to the city and said, hey, this is what I want to do, they didn't know what to zone him.
Did he just like scaring people? Or that's all I care about?
You can scare people in your backyard. You don't need special zoning for that.
Oh, we're actually, so zoning, they zoned us haunted house because they literally didn't know what to zone us. So they're like, what?
So that's like a designated, like, Section 205 in the code, like
exactly.
The haunted house zone.
So it's always been there. It's always been where it's at right now.
It's always been there, yeah. And so after Dad started running it, we actually kept it running. After Dad passed away when I was 13, and my mom and sisters kept it running for me, and my cousins, just family, all kind of stepped in and kept the place going until I was 18 and old enough to take over.
Wow.
So, yeah, I've literally never known an October without a Halloween and haunted house.
Because you went to Stanley Lake High School?
I went to Arvada West.
Arvada West. Oh, even worse. No,
even better. That's why I didn't go to Stanley Lake.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stanley Lake.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, it's legendary because I grew up around there in Louisville.
Yep.
I mean, some of my first dates I ever had, even before I could drive, we had to have our parents drive us there.
Oh, yeah.
We're coming to the Frightmare compound.
Exactly.
So you could look like the hero, right? Was that the ultimate goal? It was like,
I mean,
I'll
100%.
save you.
It's the best date spot there is. 100%. You want to go on a first date? Bring a girl. She'll be crawling all over you, holding you the whole time.
It worked every time.
Exactly.
It worked every time.
Are you just always into horror then? Or how does that work with like movies? Are you like, that doesn't scare me? Or do you get ideas from that? Watching those,
I'd say I'm more of the guy that gets ideas from things. I don't really get scared anymore. I mean, I've been around it my whole life. I'd say if I had to pick like a genre, I'd say it's like the paranormal activity stuff. That's still scary. Yeah. Anything that you can't control or kill with a gun, I'm not in. Like 80 slashers films are my favorite, but the scariest would definitely be paranormal stuff. Or
like Exorcist and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. Anything demonic, that's terrifying.
I agree.
And then every year, so do you add to it? Like, do you watching something like you go on this thing in March, you go to it, that gives you an idea, and then you plan it out, or how far out in advance you plan? Because it's massive. How big is your spot?
Yeah, so the whole property is about 5 acres with our parking lots and everything. And it's built on probably about 2.5 acres that you walk through. I mean, it takes you a solid 20 minutes to walk But we actually,
I've seen people take longer in the maze section.
Dude, some people, and it got worse when weed got legalized in Colorado. I'll tell you that. People take their time.
Back there talking to a wall, like, how do you get out of here?
No, it's painful.
So 2.5
crawling
acres,
through
2.5 acres, and then you just keep expanding it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So we expand every year. We go to all these conventions, all these attractions around the world. I travel around the world to go to haunted houses and different attractions to bring, the ideas back to Frightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And so we plan different things every year. Like this year, we planned the big swamp scene. The swamp scene, I mean, it's a 6-figure scene. It's wild.
That's what it costs.
Yeah. I mean,
that's the downed World War II bomber, right?
Yeah, that's where the old plane is.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have a real wrecked airplane. We built a swamp house on stilts. It looks like it's been there for 100 years.
Cool.
It's wild. Yeah. I mean, we started that on November 11th. And we literally finished day of opening. Like everybody's running. It takes, it was a 9-month scene that we were running around trying to get everything done.
Yeah, how's that look like? So you write the blueprints, you sketch an idea, and then you build upon that, or?
I mean, you guys can watch Behind the Screams on YouTube, and you can see the whole thing.
It's like your docuseries.
Yep,
That's Behind the Screams, guys. Behind the Screams. You heard it here.
Yep, definitely. And, yeah. Don't judge my drawing skills because we take out like full graph paper. Yeah, click back to that. Right.
An S bend, I think.
That's how it is
good
on paper.
Yeah, it's got to work.
I mean, it's painful. Yeah.
Like this was not etched out professionally on a computer in some program.
But
like
that's how you
this
start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You draw it up, try to get the flow. Everything's just an idea. So you literally come up and you're like, okay, this would be cool here, this would be cool here. That's also why we have halfway to Halloween. We open up for one weekend in May so we can actually try and use the flow, use everything that we've built so we can kind of see, when people get scared, do they naturally run left? Do they naturally run right here? What happens? Mm-hmm. So that's one thing that we do too is we test the scene halfway through the year.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And then so they come in there in May, and then you're like, we need to tweak this. We make the adjustments where you need to.
Exactly.
So I think going back, because you say started back in 1983, but I think you've had some iconic scares over the years just as a frequent person to your establishment. The one that always got me back in the day was the guy in the electric chair.
Oh yeah,
that was but it's like then you go through your Hall of History.
Yep.
And that is really cool. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So at the end, Jake knows. Jake's been coming for as long as I can remember too, actually. It's so funny. So at the end of Frightmare, we actually have the Monster Museum. And the Monster Museum is all the props and different items that we've actually retired for the last 40 years.
So things that you've taken out of the house.
Exactly. Okay. So things that have gotten beaten up or, people have seen them too many times. So we always have to change stuff. We have to keep people guessing all the time. So it's a bunch of retired props from Hollywood even. Like back in the day, my dad used to buy all the props from Hollywood that, in the 80s, that stuff's just trash. You shoot a horror film and you're like, okay, the props just go in the trash. Yeah. My dad would buy some of these. Like we have one of the bodies from Predator with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's one of the old mangled bodies that hangs from the tree. My dad went in and bought it, and it literally hung in the Frightmare trees.
Like the original, like when the downed helicopter crew is
exactly.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow. Yeah, so we have one of those, and it's beat up now, and which I like more because I can appreciate that we actually use these old props. Like it's so cool. But now that's one of the pieces in the museum.
I love
it's
that.
in a glass case now, but it's been beat to hell because it's had 20 years.
Even the electric guy's world famous though, right?
Yeah.
As I do it. That's not the first thing you think.
That's exactly what it looks like. It's the same face, everything.
Yeah, same face. Yeah.
That thing, when I was like 12, scared the shit out of me when we came around.
Exactly.
But it's world famous? Like,
people know it from around the world now. So, some of our buddies, my dad used to work with some of the biggest prop builders in the industry just because the industry was so new. So these guys would come up with stuff that nobody had ever seen before. And Ed and Marcia, they're actually up in Longmont. They created the electric chair, dude. And so we had one of the original ones at Frightmare, and now he's in the museum. Which, dude, it's so wild. That prop, I still laugh about that because we had that in storage. I used to have this storage shed that we just jam everything in, right? We're like, oh, we got to retire this, or we're going to pull it out for a few seasons because everybody's seen it, they're used to it. And so we'll jam it in the old shed. And finally, when I was like, dude, people want to see this stuff, even if it's not in the haunted house, it's in the museum.
It is definitely cool to walk through the museum at the end.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
There's so many cool things in there.
So I got to give those guys props for that, for actually building it with such quality, too, because we hadn't used it in probably 15 years. I pulled it out of the shed, plugged it in, and that thing ran perfect. I was so impressed with it. I was like, all right, this thing's back.
Do they make
Awesome.
other stuff up there now too? Do they make other props? Okay.
Yeah, so Ed and Marsha own a company called Little Spider, and it's up in Longmont. And they actually used to have a show called Making Monsters. And they had 4 or 5 seasons, and they're known for make these wild monsters.
Well, I didn't know they were in Colorado. That's
which
cool.
is so cool. Yeah. So whenever I need something, I just call them and say, "Hey, can you guys make this?" All right, I'm on my way. So yeah, I mean,
wait, was that what channel was that on?
I
feel
want
like
to say
I
it was
watched that show one
Discovery.
time,
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah, well, Discovery had all that crazy stuff like
Yeah.
Monster Garage and
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I think it was Discovery.
OCC.
But yeah, it was such a cool show just for other guys in the industry. They're just being creative and coming up with new stuff that no one's ever seen.
But you do other things besides that. So what's interesting is, so we were like, hey man, we want to do some things for I'm from Denver audience and Frightmare Compound, and it's been fun. Like our audience can go to see the Frightmare Compound for a discount. Use the code I'm from Denver. But you also have a whole bunch of other businesses that you do. Like, talk about those.
Of course, yeah. So
How many of those? Yeah.
Oh, jeez, don't get me started. Yeah, I if I'm not going 1,000 miles an hour, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have escape rooms, so HD escape rooms in Denver. We have 4 locations, 2 in Westminster, 1 in Greeley, and 1 in Denver. And there's escape rooms. They're all built like movie sets where you go in for an hour and you try to figure out the puzzles, figure out how to get out in time. So you take
And they are super fun.
you take your friends.
Yeah.
You're gonna find out who your dumb friends are. You're gonna find out who your smart friends are.
And
Real
you can
quick.
also find out who your ADD friends are.
Dude, I always say that would be this would be one of the best like reality shows because you can literally watch people get a divorce and they're like you got husband wife yelling at each other. You can also we have like SWAT teams and firefighters come in too. You can tell the guys that work together so well. They split up the room and they can solve these things. They're supposed to be there for an hour. They can solve them in 30 minutes. But they're built.
They're
to
trained,
to solve solution oriented, right? And so, yeah, the escape rooms, that's a super fun business we run
cool.
that's year round.
And that, well, one of them, the one that's in Denver, is in the mansion, like the oldest mansion, or is it the oldest house in
It's
Denver?
one of the oldest mansions built on Colfax.
Okay.
And so, yeah, the mansion
It's
is...
got the catacombs underneath it that go all the way to the Capitol, right?
Exactly.
For the old bootleggers.
They're closed now, but trust me, I tried to get into
Did
those.
you?
I was like, that's awesome. They were doing construction out front of the mansion. This was a year ago. And all my guys there, I said, hey, if anything collapses, call me first. Don't call anybody, because if that stuff opens up, I'm going in first, for sure. So yeah, because Denver's known for the tunnel system, and a bunch of different buildings down there have tunnels.
Was it for the bootlegging?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was bootleg. It was for anything illegal,
Okay.
right? So
Yeah.
it all ran to the
Anything
Capitol.
illegal.
So, it was prostitution. It was running elixirs, booze.
Yeah.
So anything down there. So
It's funny that
There's
this
a
went,
lot of that in Colorado. It's
and
like-
it went to
Yeah.
the Capitol.
Yeah.
exactly. Well, you
Louisville,
can't
the
see the
town I'm from,
politicians
is
want to
really
get that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Louisville, the town I'm from, is where they used to keep the booze in the old coal mines, and they would bring it up at night and then bootleg it into Denver.
Really?
Into the
That's so cool.
speakeasies. Probably
to my
where you're at.
Yeah, exactly.
But is the mansion haunted? Because
Of course.
but like, well, I know it's haunted at this time of the
only
year.
I'm
But you
good
would,
at.
yeah.
So that creepy ass picture over the bar, man. That thing. We had a meeting in there the other day, and I was like,
No,
I'm like, I don't think I should. I think I need to sit on the other side of the table next time.
you call it the haunted mansion, but it's you do it all out. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So, the mansion is another business that we own. That it's a bar and restaurant all the way through the year, of course. Everything, we do live music there. We do trivia nights. It's straight up bar and restaurant. But it's in an old 1880s mansion, which is so cool. It's been a ton of different things through the years. It started as, I think, just a convenience store back in the late 1800s, and then kind of just morphed into restaurants and bars over the past 100 years. We run that place. And during this season, it goes from the mansion to the haunted mansion. And we do a Halloween pop-up bar. And I mean, it's just wild. We deck it all out with all the Halloween stuff. You make all the cool drinks that have the fog coming out of them, potion bottles. And it's just a spot for you to dress up and come have some fun and get a little drunk.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's great when a little eyeball pops out of your drink.
Exactly.
That's supposed to be there. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, scoop that one out. That's not edible. Don't do that.
But we talked about Behind the Screams briefly, but that's an actual YouTube series and I watched a few of the episodes. They're really good. They're actually very well produced.
Oh, thank you.
Not to like say that. Well, I expected shit. But,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah. But they were actually like you see how you guys put the whole Frightmare compound together, and I think one of them they actually showed you going out to that event that you went to in March. So
exactly.
it's cool to watch that.
That's been a dream of mine, literally since I was 18, to produce a like reality style TV show, because we always do the most random stuff, from wrecking airplanes in scenes.
Yeah.
To, I mean, you name it. Just going to these shows. The Transworld show is crazy. Like I said, you're a kid at a candy store. You can go out and buy flamethrowers. You can buy whatever you want. And so
We're buying a flamethrower. That's happening.
I've got a couple. Just come over. Yeah, how do you think we melt the snow when it snows at Frightmare? Right?
I'm like, so many applications that needs to be tested on.
Exactly.
Jake, I think, wants a job inside the
Oh,
compound
dude,
with the
yeah.
flamethrower.
I'm old school,
100%.
man. You can put a flamethrower, potato gun, or anything in front of me, and I'm gonna do something stupid with it. It's gonna be good.
Same. Come over. That's how we get in a lot of trouble out there. I'm in.
On the
Yeah,
next
maybe-
episode, Jake starts a fire. Burns down half Westminster.
Well, we know we can't fly a drone over there.
I know. That's why. You think it's because the FAA? No, I had that restriction put on. Like, people don't need to see what's happening inside.
It's the
here.
haunted zone. That's all that
Exactly.
is.
No.
You sure it flies over? I'm like, yeah, I'm sure. Oh no, it doesn't fly
Does
over.
not.
It doesn't fly over.
Says Josh doesn't like this. Yeah, but behind the screens, man, it's been a dream. It's actually funny. So on one of the episodes coming up, I have what, for lack of a better term, sizzle reel of us like pitching to reality TV show spots to producers, and I'm like 20 years old pitching like a reality TV show to Hollywood. So I sent out, we made DVDs, we sent them out all over trying to get these things done. And so finally, 15 years later, ended up hiring my own camera crew and doing it ourselves and just saying, all right.
Yeah, he said, I don't need
I'm
you.
surprised you guys didn't
exactly.
send one to like Bam Margera or something back in the day.
Dude,
man.
I sent one to everyone.
Really?
Bam
I'm
probably had
I'd be
one.
like, and then it's almost weird that they didn't want to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I'm
no
like,
one bit? No one...
Nope.
Wow.
We never. Well, it's like becoming a pro athlete. The 1% get picked up.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody has a good idea. So it's all about actually producing it and just doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, finally last year we started.
Kudos
our
to you
first
for making
season.
it happen. Then
Well, it's been so cool, and trust me, it's hard. As you guys know, producing anything is difficult.
Yeah.
When, like, for the haunted house, we're working all night long, and now we're trying to set up shots. We're trying to run the camera crews. We're trying to do everything. So it adds another level that you don't think about, and how much time and preparation it takes. So it's been a long ride, but it's fun.
So you're still shopping it? You still...
Oh, yeah.
all
Oh,
the
yeah.
time? Never stop.
Oh yeah, we did one season last season, so we had 10 episodes last year, and this year we're gonna have another 10 episodes for season 2. We've actually I'm not gonna tell you guys who yet, but we had a big producer come out this past weekend and stayed with us all weekend. Big producer from Hollywood. You guys would know everything that this guy's done, and so he was out giving us some pointers and kind of letting us know what
Larry
our next
Flint?
steps are. I can't tell.
Oh.
I can't say anything.
not Larry Flint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's a fun ride. And you guys definitely need to come out and be a part of that. Come be in some episodes.
No,
We would
I think
love
Jake
to.
already just give him a flamethrower.
Oh,
yeah. There's a potato gun, a flamethrower.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
We've got
done.
the 6x6 out there, like the mini tank.
Make
That'll be
sure
the Jake tank.
it's full and turn the cameras on. Let's make this happen.
Exactly. Yeah, just record this, please, in case anything happens. It's on camera,
Dude. Well, it is cool because so last few years we've been there and we actually go really behind the screens, I guess, and we see your whole crew. Like, you have a loyal crew there. I mean, do you call them actors? Because it's a bunch of people that just like literally take it serious, man. There was a girl screaming. So we were hiding in the swamp pit. There's like the thing on stilts. There's a room, so we got to see the chainsaw on one guy, and then we got to see the swamp on the other. And the girl in the swamp scene was it was not a recording. Was screaming top of her lungs, a terrifying scream. Like, these actors really take their
They
craft.
practice before
Exactly.
you guys get started. I did not realize the amount of prep every night that goes into that. That was when we went behind last year and we got to see how all that comes together. And then the pep talks that you guys give before every night, that was really impressive. I was actually pretty blown away.
We got to get them.
I
We
didn't
got to
see
get
that one
them pumped
coming.
up. We try to get everybody's vocal cords warmed up. We actually just started this past weekend doing calisthenics. So these guys are out there like stretching out, making sure they have full movement, and it's hilarious getting these guys ready. They every actor, you have different levels of actors. Some are just really quiet and have kind of the actual serial killer vibe where they just sit there and you're like, dude, is this guy okay? Like, he's in costume just staring at himself.
I don't know,
Like,
man.
I don't know. Maybe watch that dude tonight.
Yeah.
But then you have the guys there doing their own makeup, warming up their voices, and getting stoked to actually go out and scare. These guys wait all year long to come out and do this.
And they come back every year.
So yeah, we have we invite back about half the crew, but you're an athlete. You're out there, you're putting on these costumes, and I have some here. You guys will have to like feel like how much weight is on. Like even the mask, these masks are $1,000, and so being in these things, they're difficult to wear all night, and so these guys are running around in this stuff. You need to be in shape. You need to, for certain scenes, like our chainsaw guy, Mikey, dude, that guy runs. I can take 10 miles a night. The funniest part is it's normally we have Denver Broncos come through all the time, Nuggets, all these guys that they're freaking huge. They got to go sideways through a door, right? But these guys all play into it. So they all like scream, have fun, and which is so fun. Yeah. I've got a story about Jake.
Okay, yeah, what is this? Let's hear this.
Oh my God, am I allowed to say this on film?
Dude, all right, Jake's story.
All right, so Jake every year, as you know, he rents a party bus and comes up with all of his buddies, and they always make it a night. And so they stock with booze, come up, and it's always a fun time. And so this is on a busy Friday night, and we used to have, this thing's too dangerous now, but we had this thing called the Wheel of Death. And this thing is from an old, what was it? It was from Heritage Square, so like an old theme park kind of thing. And you'd walk in this wooden wheel, and the faster you walk, the faster this wheel would go.
Like a gerbil wheel?
Exactly.
Oh, okay. It was like a hamster wheel,
hamster
man.
wheel.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
100%.
Yeah, if you want to mess with somebody, get in there and start really moving it before they try to walk in there.
Well, so yeah, you'll find out who your fast friends are and who your slow friends are, because if you race in that, one of you are falling.
Okay.
And when I say fall, this thing's probably 6 to 7 foot around, and so it will literally pick you up, take you to the top, and
you
drop you. I mean, it is dangerous.
Okay, where is this going?
We have this at Frightmare because I needed that. Yeah. Like I said, we buy the most random stuff. Yeah. So I have one of my security guards. He calls on the radio, said, "Hey, I found a wallet. It's got like $500 in it," and I was like, he's like, "I just found it right here." And so we end up going to check it out. I open it up, and it says, Jake Salazar. And all I'm thinking in my head, and it's under this wheel. And so I know Jake's there, so I go up front, and I go, Jake, did you fall? He goes, oh, man, I ate shit in this. While, keep in mind, he's dressed up like Rip. They're in a full costume, dressed up like Rip. He's got dust and dirt all over him from eating shit in this Wheel of Death. And I go, hey, man, how you doing? He's like, dude, I had a great time, just biggest smile on his face. I go, did you lose anything? And he's like, oh, yeah, I ate shit in that thing. And so literally, I was laughing so hard, though. I mean,
so it was, I was wearing cowboy boots, which I don't normally wear.
Exactly.
And my wife's friend, this girl Jenna, always comes with us, and she got in there and sped it all up.
Oh,
and so I tried to run through it all fast, and it literally picked me up
and dropped you just like you said.
Like, literally like on my back.
Dude, the Wheel of Death. It is freaking dangerous.
But like, you're like, you get up, like, I'm fine, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, your adrenaline is still jacked up. Like, you're good.
Well, because you're getting haunted or you're getting chased by something at the
or
same
it was
time.
the booze.
It was definitely the booze.
It probably everything helped.
Do you find a lot of people drop and lose things, or like do people leave people behind? Because that was the one thing I saw where I would go up to people at the end, and so we're getting footage from Denver, and I'd be like, how was it? And a lot of them would respond like, well, he left me.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Dude, we have the best lost and found. Always. I mean, you can guess. It's always keys, cell phones. But we've found everything from somebody's life alert, like a grandma's life alert. Somebody might have died. Not sure.
My God.
So life alert. We've had.
Seems like you shouldn't go to a haunted house.
Yeah. You're either gonna jump start your heart or stop it.
Like literally carrying a defibrillator around with you.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
So, oh man, you name it though. We've found one chick had a bullet with her grandpa's ashes in it. And so one of my guys found it and like opened it up. He's like, "Oh, I think this is drugs." And I go, "Oh yeah, sniff it." And he's like, "No, God, no." And then finally, like this was 2 hours later, somebody wrote and said, "Hey, I lost my bullet necklace. It's got my grandpa's ashes in it." And I was like, "Thank God he didn't sniff the ashes."
He's like, "I was just back there making that happen."
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
that looks dirty.
God.
Don't do that one. Yeah, but we find the craziest stuff out there.
And what, so like all October is this crazy, or do you find like that week of Halloween is just intense?
I mean, the busier we get, of course, the more stuff you're going to find, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, build up. So this year we opened on Friday the 13th in September, and I mean, it has been busy from day one now. So, I mean, we don't really have a slow day anymore. You know, if somebody wants to come on a slower day, I'd say come Sunday through Thursday, but It's still going to be busy. We have people nonstop rolling through there. And yeah, we find stuff. I mean, I can't tell you how many times the security team's like, another pink lost iPhone, it's all day, every day. Yeah.
Well, the good thing is, is they actually will give it back to you, because I could have very easily lost. I think it was more than that. It was like $1,000 in my wallet that night.
Yeah, a stack of cash.
You could have definitely not given it back, and they give it all
or
back.
Or did I just say it was only $500?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was probably drunk enough where I didn't remember.
I love that there's some terrifying monster that's like, here, you drop this.
Yeah,
exactly.
Dude, and the craziest thing is the people that lose one shoe. You guys have been to Frightmare 100 times. The rocks out there are not nice to walk barefoot on.
Yeah.
And people will just leave their shoes and not come back.
Because they're so scared.
They don't come back with their
They're
shoes.
just gone. And it's wild.
Who leaves his shoe?
Dude,
all right, if you're out there and you've left the shoe, we want your story.
Honestly.
We want your story. We need it on here right now.
I've got bras. People have thrown bras at monsters, like concert style.
Wow.
You name it, dude.
I want that room. Give me that room.
So I'll tell you
Was
the
that
story.
Dracula?
I'll tell you the story of that room. Okay. This one is actually pretty funny. So, we're always trying to raise the bar every year, right? What can we do that's more crazy that people are scared of? And so I was like, dude, we need an insects room. And so we ended up getting Madagascar hissing cockroaches. They're solid 3 inches. And we did these big terrariums.
Yeah.
And
I remember this.
Wait, they were alive?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
real
okay.
ones.
I actually remember this.
And so, one of the guys in there, we actually had this dude named Tom, and he loved these things, which are so freaking weird already. But he would let these things crawl all over him. And so he'd be in this room, and then I had a bucket of rubber ones. And so he would launch them on girls. And you want to see a girl rip their top off? 100%. He would sit there and throw stuff on them, and girls would be taking off their stuff, screaming top of their lungs, taking off every layer of clothes, trying to get away from this and get these cockroaches.
See, I've been doing it all wrong. I've been trying to take them on dates and stuff. Like I just need
I've got the room
just
to
need some hissing cockroaches.
Exactly.
All right, but the one thing so we went there, we filmed, we hung out. It was great, man. I actually enjoyed watching people run from the chainsaw guy. We even have a camera footage of it, like on a
so
GoPro
good.
of him chasing them. But you guys had said there's this actual part that really is paranormal investigators come out there and
Yep.
saw the spot that was.
Yeah, so Frightmare, the very first piece that was ever moved on to Frightmare was our old 1800s barn. And this barn was built in the 1800s. It's an old farm barn, and it was actually, brought down from northern Colorado, just north of our property there, and sit on the property. And there was tons of stories that my dad heard before this time. And so every year, we always have
So how long has your family lived on the property?
So my family bought the property in like 82.
Oh, okay. So
And
right before you started it, but they always heard stories
of this barn.
Okay.
Yeah, and so moves the barn onto the property, and that was like the original Frightmare. You'd go through the barn. Like, it was so short. Back in the day, you'd be open for
Just
5 days.
Just your dad inside of it.
My dad and a couple buddies. Yeah, exactly.
You remember how they used to do those back then? You put your hands in a bowl of blackberries, like it's eyeballs.
Exactly. So that was probably what it was. Yeah. Thank God I can't remember that stuff. Yeah, so corny. But we always have actors and all these people that are in the barn and are always asked about I always hear something over in this corner. I always see stuff over here, and you always brush it off. Okay. And we always have these paranormal teams that come out and want to investigate. I get emails all day, every day about guys that want to come investigate. And we always, set it up and try to, let everybody get some content and do some fun stuff. And it's every time we do that, we have the same spot in the barn that everybody finds something, that they hear stuff, they have stuff move, whatever it is. It's the same spot in the barn, which I never tell anybody where it is. Any of these guys that come in to do it,
Wow.
I always just
So there's
say,
a
good
legit
luck.
haunting going on there.
It's pretty wild.
We got to get the what do you call it, little thing from the Ghostbusters?
meter.
Exactly.
The EKG meter.
Exactly. Yeah, they come out.
Have you heard or seen anything? Do you
I
believe
want
in
to
that?
believe in this stuff so bad. Of
Yeah.
course I do.
Yeah.
I've never.
It's like I've been waiting my whole life to get
exactly.
haunted
This
for
is
real.
all I want.
Yeah.
But that being
I have
said,
to make it up just to get scared because I can't
I
experience
can't
it.
scare myself.
I'd love to go do an exorcism just to see what it's like.
Exactly.
But nothing.
So I work out there all the time, right? And we always have to work at night. So we're always building stuff at night. We need to test lighting, everything. So I'll be out there midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. And when you do hear something, it always gets mental, right? Where I'm the only one there. And if I hear something bang or something in this barn, it gets to the point where it's like, I'll probably call it a night. I'm done. I'm not big deal. Because it's not like something, like falls over or anything. It's like loud or something happens. You're like, oh, that's enough.
So you're like a little kid, you like go turn off the lights in the basement
and then
you immediately run up the stairs.
Yeah, I'm like,
a little kid. I did that last night, dude.
That's how I leave the Frightmare barn every time we turn off the power. And I know half of my crew.
I don't go downstairs without a gun anymore.
Exactly.
What's the scariest room for you in the house that you're just like proud of, or that freaks you out even still?
Oh, to this day, it's got to be the barn because of
just
that.
Because it's real, yeah.
Because you're up there and it's pitch dark, and if you got to get out of there, it takes a minute from one of the corners. You're like, all right, I got to go through a couple rooms. Now the lights are out.
So do the actors are there actors that want to be in the barn? Or do people like, I don't want that tonight?
I don't want that tonight. The barn is one of the better places for a lot of actors just because it stays so warm. And if it's raining outside, it's dry inside. So, yeah, people love the barn, even though there's wild stories about it.
It's definitely
and nobody's ever alone in there, so it's always actors.
Yeah, literally, no one.
Yeah, exactly.
In that barn.
Like, it's only me tonight. No, it's not. Don't worry.
You're good. They just go to that corner. Yeah, go to the corner.
Yeah,
You'll
you
be
and
good.
some other people.
Exactly. You won't feel alone in a minute.
Yeah, you'll be all right. What are you got big plans? What's the goal? Like, you're so busy, but are there things that you have in the works?
The biggest thing we've been working on right now is behind the screen. So we've been really pushing the YouTube channel and growing it, and that's one thing that we've just enjoyed doing. It's literally my whole crew is just a bunch of buddies that I've known forever, and these guys that come in and we all go, hey, what do you want to build this year? What do you want to do? Want to go? Like, we just all wanted one of those 6x6 amphibious machines.
Yeah.
So we're like, we're gonna go buy one of those and start playing with it. So it's
Perfect.
The goal is always to get better and raise the bar for haunted houses all over and make sure that we stay on top.
He really needs to look like Rob Zombie because he's just such a positive and happy guy that you're like, wait, so you run a haunted
nothing but
house?
positive vibes, man.
Nope, let's start murdering people.
That ghost over there.
I need to get dark now.
Darkness, man.
I think I need to start go and get full tattoos, full face tattoos.
Yeah, really act the role.
I need
of
to.
the
You're right.
Frightmare
Maybe I need
owner.
to really
You gotta
get
come
into
in
it.
with the white eyes.
I should've.
get the neon going.
Today I should have come in just full gothic. Like, not that I don't look gothic already. I only wear black anyway. But
Well, I didn't get the dress code. I'm all wearing white, and you guys came in here looking like twins right
It's
now.
Halloween,
Jake and I
man.
know.
It's Halloween. Listen, man, you got to know who we're interviewing here.
Exactly. Plus, black is slimming. Look at how slim we
Yeah, I
look.
know. Yeah, I look like the side angle over here.
Listen, man, I've been married for a while now. Slimming isn't something that we talk about in our relationship.
Exactly.
I've been expanding.
Exactly.
Hey,
I used to be really in shape when I played college baseball, and since then, just been a steady gaining of inches on the waist.
But you used to wear white and other colors. Now you just wear black.
I wear
You know?
black.
Exactly.
Black is like so easy, you know? Even during the summer.
Slim down. I'm not going to work out. I'm going to put on black. Don't worry.
I thought about working out, put on a black t-shirt.
Yeah. Just give me a flamethrower. I'm just gonna stand right here the whole time.
That sounds like my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, well, we appreciate you coming on. If you guys are watching this, it's Halloween. Go to Frightmare Compound. What's the website to get tickets?
TheFrightmareCompound.com.
And then put in I'm from Denver. We got a code that Josh hooked us up with to hook you guys up with so you can actually save money there. I don't know what camera we're looking at. I feel like this is Hot Ones. I have no idea what camera we're looking at. Just go to the website, put in I'm from Denver, and you can save. And then we just appreciate you coming on and being a part of this, man.
Heck yeah, man. You guys have a killer studio here.
Are we going? We're going. Should we talk about what the plan is to go back? Because
let's definitely get it out there, because so what we're doing, guys, is we've got this going out. We're going to be doing a major influencer night. So this time, for the last 10 years, I've personally been buying the limousine, putting some really good friends in it, and coming up and hanging out. And I should say limousine.
Yeah.
We actually
losing wallets.
it's not a limousine that we get. It's a massive party bus. We stock
From
it with
5-star
booze.
limousine.
Yeah, from 5-star limousine. That's who's sponsoring it this year. And so what we're doing now is we're actually going to do a pretty big influencer night. So some of the lucky influencers around Denver are going to get to come with our crew and go up
We're gonna
and
start
go
an
behind the
HD
screens.
escape room. We're
Yep.
gonna start an HD escape room at the mansion.
Yep.
Everyone has a cocktail. It must be 21 or older with 15,000 followers.
Yeah.
But they're gonna start out at the HD escape rooms at the mansion. We'll have a drink. We'll go downstairs. We'll see who can actually the dumb influencers
Exactly.
and the smart influencers.
Yeah.
Gonna be a test.
Let's see how good of influence.
Maybe
they
that's
are.
how they have to get on the bus.
Maybe you don't get out. Yeah, you don't get to go.
Listen, if you don't get out of the escape room, maybe you're not coming with
Yeah,
us.
you won't. The bus leaves. You got 1 hour. The bus leaves in 50 minutes.
Yeah,
You got,
Good luck.
so they're gonna get on the party bus, ride down to Frightmare compound, and
Yep.
just we have White Claw sponsoring it. So it's just gonna be a really fun night. Hopefully, you leave your wallet at home. What are you? Are you gonna?
Listen, man, my wife carries that around for me now. I'm not allowed to carry these things into the haunted houses anymore, especially after that night.
Exactly.
It'll be a good time. Hey, well, Josh, we appreciate you coming on.
Heck yeah.
It's a great year for you, man, and nothing but big things coming your way. So we appreciate you just hanging out and
Yeah.
taking the time because it is your busy season.
It's
Yeah.
wild right now. No, I'm so stoked that you guys brought me out here, man. Your studio here is awesome. So
Glad you
thank
guys finally got to get out here, man.
Heck yeah, so awesome.
We changed the colors just for you. It was
It's gotta
like,
be
yeah,
red.
it's
Yeah,
gotta
I
be
love
blood
it.
red.
It's gotta be dirty. Yeah.
We had a smoke machine at some point. I have no
Oh,
idea
dang
where it
it.
went.
It was actually really cool,
It
but
was-
it kind of was noisy.
Yeah. So.
That's awesome.